Missouri.
The internet has become the most known way for us to gain knowledge, communicate with others, and a place where we can express freedom of speech. Well, as so as we thought. Internet censorship is the control of what can be accessed, published, or viewed on the internet, enforced by companies and governments. The extent of internet censorship varies on a country-to-country basis. While most diplomatic countries have modern internet censorship, other countries can go as far as limiting information such as the news or suppressing discussions among citizens. The biggest example of this is China. China has created the world's largest internet filter known as the Great Firewall. The Great Firewall has been enforced by the Chinese government to regulate the internet in order to keep eyes on their citizens. Its main purpose is to prevent the citizens of China from reading about other nations' opinion and their way to govern, anything that relates to protesting or terrorist content, even social media platforms that are used around the world. If anyone disobeys or tries to get around the internet filters, they will be fined a large amount of money or even serve prison time. Even for us in the United States, we face challenges in our school districts. Now, in the day and age of technology, schools have been getting advanced and involving technology inside the classrooms. Of course, there are some regulations in order to protect the students while surfing the web, but it's also limiting information that students can access in order to help them with their education. I had interviewed an English teacher from Franklin High School, and here are her thoughts.
My name is Talia Longoria, and I am an English teacher at Franklin High School, and I've been teaching here for the last 10 years. So I've actually seen access to internet change dramatically within the last 10 years or so, because now EPISD is a one-to-one campus and everybody has their own computer, as opposed to before when we could only access the internet at certain times or when we booked for labs. I think it is because sometimes they stop students from accessing information that they need or they should. Like for a long time, they go back and forth between blocking certain things on YouTube when YouTube can be very helpful. But on the other hand, I realize that it's a necessary thing that you have to do. Like, the kids can't have free range access to the entire internet because there's a lot of terrible things on the internet. And as a school, we are responsible to making sure that we control that. So while we have to deal with a few annoyances with I really needed to watch this video, or I would love to watch this documentary, but I can't log into Netflix or Amazon. I understand why schools would say, yeah, no Netflix, but I also think that they don't see that there's a wealth of really important documentaries that are on there sometimes that educators can really use. Well, yes. For example, this year I am facilitating a course from UT Austin called On-Ramps, in which the majority of the lessons and all the platforms are online, because since it's from UT, they do it through Canvas, which is the equivalent of what Blackboard is at UTEP. And there were so many times where we would try to access links or try to access videos, and they were blocked by our district. And there's times when I look up certain things that I don't understand why those are blocked, and I don't get the reasoning behind why they're blocked. Luckily for me, there's different restrictions on my personal computer, because I have less restrictions on my work computer than the students do. So if I do run into that issue, then I can print it and make a copy real quick, or do a hotspot from my phone to make sure that the kids can access it somehow. But it is, a lot of times the district does things that kind of throws us off at Another example is at the beginning of the year, they didn't want us to use Gmail. They wouldn't let the kids access Gmail or Google Docs at all. But we kept complaining until they kind of finally gave in, and I told them this is an essential need for the students involved in on-ramps. They have to use their personal emails because the district really wants them to just use EPISD and just use the Outlook platform, when personally Outlook is not my favorite. So those are little glitches, but usually the district, even though it takes a couple months, is pretty good about helping us out.
Unfortunately, as we move forward improving and creating technology, internet censorship will only continue to grow. As we all became internet users, we have the ability to stop internet censorship. Just in using our voices to speak out against companies and government that filter out the internet, it will make a difference. The internet was created for freedom, not to control us.